What's up? What's up? What's up? KK, can you see? You can't see anything now? KK, say I don't see nothing. You see me now? Can y'all see me? Hold on, make sure everybody can see me.
You good?
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, wait a minute. You know what? I don't know why I don't never think about just doing that. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey. What's up? Thank you, Watermelon Sugar, for always coming to the stage right when I need you. Hey, Vixen, Mimi, Abby, always, my boo. Mimi, Abby hit me up this morning and was like, girl, did you call your doctor yet? And I was like, girl, no. And I still forgot to call my damn doctor. I got to run in my mouth, child. I'll call in the morning. Hey, Raphael, how you doing? Hey, Coffee TV, what's up? KK, Miss Trish. Hey, Love Blake. Did I miss anybody? I feel like I missed something. Oh, I feel like I got everybody. Hey, y'all. Hey, what's up, Star? Hey, DC. What's up, Geechee girl? Hey, boo. Mm-hmm. Good old Mardi Gras, honey. I know y'all not really having the same Mardi Gras, and I know you ain't even in New Orleans, but it's that time of year, honey.
Wait, did Abby watch it? Because I
don't think Abby watched it, but Abby, you want to come up here? You know you can, girl. I don't think Abby don't watch that, but she can come on up here. So,
got a lot to talk about.
Yes, honey, we do. We do. First of all, let me introduce my guests. I want to welcome you guys. First, we have Yocrates in the house, and then we have my girl, Lil Baby. Now, listen, Lil Baby is one of my ride or dies. Lil Baby been in the chat probably since I only have about 4 people in the chat. Get your girl. If your internet working, you come on up here. Hey, Jaded. Hopefully, I'll be seeing Jaded this weekend, y'all. Hopefully, I'll be seeing my boo this weekend. I feel like it's been forever since I seen my Jaded. So we have Yocrates, and Ya is he is a content creator as well. You may know him by his former name, spelling all the T. Just like Prince, you know, that is the artist formerly known as. Yocrates is his new channel. So if you are not subscribed, y'all make sure y'all get him that good link, that good subscription. My Watermelon Sugar or Abby, definitely. Okay, Abby, no problem. We'll be dropping his link. And then again, like I said, Lil Baby been here, and she been begging me to do this. Well, I can say begging, but she been asking me to do this for a minute. Okay, so I had to include her. So we are doing the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I have a few other announcements to make, but the majority of this is going to be the Real Housewives of New Jersey. We're going to touch on we're going to touch on them Salt Lake City girls, but this the mainly.
Oh yeah, we're going to touch on them too.
Yeah, we got to get to them Salt Lake City girls. But the majority of this is going to be the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I mean, of New Jersey. Now, because I have never watched this before. Rather than me have to rewind and watch a bunch of stuff, I was able to get these two to help me, and we said we'll do it live so that I know what the hell I'm talking about as I go through this show. That's right. That's why I didn't do the OC, because I watched that first episode and I was like, I don't know who none of these people are, and they all look alike, and I don't care. And so I was like,
it ended up being a dud anyway, so you ain't miss out on that.
It really did. It really ended up being a dud. You're right. You said, yeah, right. Yocrates, the hardest working man in YouTube. I feel.
What y'all mean? How am I hard working?
Same way.
I don't do nothing. I don't be doing nothing around here.
So the first thing we're gonna do, all right, I wrote down these people's names, and y'all gonna help me out with who these people are before we get to the episode. So first we have. Now I'm gonna tell y'all what I wrote down when I wrote these people's names. We have Jackie, who was having a birthday party for her husband. That was the main part of this episode, was her birthday party for her husband. We're gonna get back to that. But what else do I need to know about Miss Jackie? Look like she got a little family, nice little family. They got a nice little house. What does her husband do? How they get their money? What do we know about these people?
Jackie, she used to be a lawyer, and she turned a full-time blogger. Her and her husband, I think they have 2 sets of twins.
Okay.
And she grew up, I guess, kind of like a Wendy Williams story. She was an overweight kid, insecure about that.
Okay.
and her parents basically shamed her for being overweight, and so
What?
she talked about her issues with eating disorders
Okay.
and stuff like that. And yeah, she's gotten comfortable with her eating and health habits.
So they look like they have a nice house. I know that you said that she's a lawyer, but where else is this money coming from?
Well, she used to be a lawyer. She does a lot of blogs and whatnot. And her husband owns I believe he owns the gym. But the thing is, her family money. That's where her money came from. And
Yeah, her family has money also.
Yeah, and the big thing that happened last season is her and Jennifer had a falling out because Jennifer likes to spend a whole lot of money. And when she found out that Jackie actually has money, she made a big deal of, well, if you have money, why don't you spend it? And it was a whole
and that had something to do with her childhood. Because didn't her father like go to prison or something like that?
I believe for like a couple of days or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, for like money issues. I think she grew up with money and then no longer had it. So like, yeah.
Okay. Now, so just as a sidebar, somebody asked about Mike B. Mike B, I know Mike B got his with work. He had a lot going on with work. Y'all, they were asking you specifically, but I just remember him making a statement about he got a promotion or something like that. And I know he was you already answered, you don't know. I just remember him saying something about work. I think he stepped away from YouTube, or at least doing YouTube as much because work got to be a lot. I know he had finished school and something like that. So that's what I know, and y'all say he don't know nothing. So you don't know.
And her parents are kind of like Wendy's parents with the whole eating thing. When she talks to them about it, they're like, well, look at you now. So, I mean,
right. So us making fun of you is all justified because you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's what I have for them. Melissa and George. Now,
Joe.
Oh, I wrote George. Lord,
that's Joe number one.
Now that's Joe. Now that's Teresa's brother and sister-in-law, right?
Correct.
Now they look like they got a nice house too. How they get their money?
He's in construction.
Oh, like in construction?
No mob ties.
No, yeah, he's regular construction.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the other, we're not gonna. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to the other family with mob ties. Although I do have that story.
Oh, that's a family that's not on the show anymore.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Alleged mob ties.
Okay, alleged.
Even though bodies were turning up in trunks, the mob ties are alleged.
Okay. Woo. All right. Jennifer and her husband. I wrote down doctor because I saw that he was a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Plastic surgeon.
And her family's from Turkey or something.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay. So what do we know about them?
He's a plastic surgeon.
She's a lush. She's a drunk. Can't hold her liquor. Always always doing something wrong. Always apologizing. Never mean the apology.
And she get it from her mama.
I feel like Teresa was, because I looked at the reunion from last season and she blamed that whole situation with Danielle on the fact that she was drunk. But okay.
We're going to get to Miss Teresa.
Oh, we will.
Oh, yeah, we definitely going to get to Miss Teresa. Okay. What's her name? Dolores?
Dolores.
I can't read my own hair right. Now, Dolores had a whole lot of plastic surgery. She got the new butt. She has a lot going on in the area of the plastic of the surgery. What's her story? Because she got the ex-husband that she lived with, the boyfriend that she don't live with, but she built a house with the boyfriend. What we got going on with these people?
That's pretty much it. She ain't got nothing going on. That's pretty much it.
Okay, that's it. Hey, Gail, how you doing?
She's Teresa's flunky.
Don't do that, watermelon sugar. Don't do that.
Whenever Teresa needs somebody to have her back, that's where Dolores come in. That's it.
Okay, all right. Margaret. Now Margaret got the new boobs. Dolores got the new ass. Margaret got the new boobs.
Oh, hey, she had a facelift.
Oh, she had a lot going on. What's her story? Because that's all I got written down about Margaret. Now, Margaret, wait a minute. Margaret is the one that with the husband they were doing all the renovating with that ugly ass wallpaper in every room.
I thought that wallpaper was cute.
But it's so much. Every room. Every room got a wallpaper theme. That's a lot. It's a lot going on with the wallpaper. Okay.
Look,
That is her, right? That's the one who Danielle ripped her ponytail off last season. Won't that her?
yep.
Yes.
And
Now, what's her story?
the only thing that you need to know about her is she was married and then she cheated on her husband with her current husband, got divorced, and then married him. There you go.
And the current husband and the ex-husband are friends. Yeah, everybody. I think maybe it's her own bio children she may not have a relationship with, but she does have a relationship with her ex-husband's kids.
Something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah. And for Margaret, she is the junior. Her mother is Marge Senior.
Mm-hmm.
We saw her at the end of the episode when Teresa came over to the house when that whole thing went down, right? That's her mama?
Yes.
Okay, Marge Senior. Okay, that's a lot going on with the Marges. Okay.
Look, we told you we got what, 2 Marges? I believe we got
three Joes.
3 Joes.
That's a lot.
3 Joes and a possible because 1 Joe is in Italy.
Okay, so now I think that's everybody until we get to Miss Teresa.
Is it?
Is the one that went to jail, and then her husband went to jail, and now they divorced, but he cheated on her.
They still married.
But she said that she was divorced.
No.
A lot don't care who tell it. Let Forrest Rocks tell you. A lot don't care who tell it.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you. No, because in the episode she was saying she's single now. So to me, you ain't.
No, they're still married. They have not.
Teresa will lie when the truth is due. I'm trying to let you know.
Okay. Listen, I'm learning these people. Okay. All right. So we get to the birthday party. And the party is for Jackie's husband, Evan, right? I believe it was Evan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And everybody is having a good time. Now, why are these women sitting around talking about giving these men blowjobs? Why is that a conversation?
I have
no
explanation.
So the reason behind it is Jackie doesn't do blowjobs. She made that known that she don't do blowjobs. That isn't her thing. So every chance they get, they have to, mess with her on the fact that she don't get blowjobs. And they were trying to say, well, because it's his birthday, you should go. That's all it was. It wasn't nothing.
But see, that's why her husband down to the gym getting the blowjobs from the men. That's what Teresa said. So anyway, Teresa starts spreading this rumor. Now, mind you, they've all been drinking. I mean, Jennifer's was slurring her word, or Jackie, was slurring her words when she was up there saying happy birthday to her husband. She was slurring her words. They was all drunk, okay? They was all drunk. And Teresa immediately starts spreading these rumors around the party about Evan allegedly, because she was talking about how happy they were, their marriage was so great, blah, blah, blah. He allegedly be down to the gym. And at first, that's all she was saying. Like, the rest of them were supposed to pick up on what she was putting down. And then it was like, girl, what you talking about? And she was like, down to the gym, down to the gym. And they were like, what? What happens at the gym? And she was like, girl, he is cheating on her down to the gym. Now, I have always heard that reference with men that are down to the gym sleeping around, that they're sleeping around with other men. Now, they never brought that up. They didn't make that inference. But that's what I've always heard. Am I crazy? Have y'all heard that?
I figured maybe she was suggesting other women, but what
she was suggesting other women, but I'm saying that's what I've heard is that men who hang out at the gym. That's what I had heard. But go ahead.
I don't know. Part of this situation, I get the storyline needed to be pushed along, but one thing about it was I didn't see nobody be like, "Girl, don't even start. I already see where you going."
No. Marge was the one that was just like, let it go. Marge was the one trying to keep us.
That's true.
But the funny thing is, and I don't know if y'all caught it, when she went to Marge, she was trying to get Marge to say it. So she wouldn't say it, so she could be able to not said it.
Right.
So she was trying to get because I'm just like, oh, you being sneaky. And for Teresa to be, that girl, it's like, why you being so sneaky about it? Just go ahead. Like, obviously, you don't want to tell us about your life this season. Obviously, you need to check because there's a good chance your husband probably gonna take you for everything, won't alimony and everything else. So, I mean, you need to check because your other
bitch. Teresa had money before the show, or did she make all her money as a result of being on here?
As a result. and she has had businesses every season, a Bellini line, a Bellini whatever that didn't go nowhere, several cookbooks that people said really wasn't all that, amongst some other stuff. Okay. So,
all of her wealth was acquired on, well, all of her legal wealth was acquired on the show, and she's had to use the show money to pay back the falsely acquired wealth.
Got it. Laundering. So she used the Bravo to launder her funds, allegedly.
Pretty much. If she didn't have this show, she would probably be worse than Nene.
Oh, okay. So the thing is this, I agree. I feel like she was trying to get other people to join in, and it seemed like nobody was really, really trying to get into it. They really felt like what she was doing was in poor taste, wrong place, wrong time situation.
Yeah.
Like, how you gonna be walking around this man's birthday party and claiming that the man is sleeping around with his wife? Like, that was real dirty. That was a real poor taste. Now, I found it also interesting that they kept asking her where to come from, and she couldn't tell them. Now, last night, y'all had he had a theory on where it came from. Where was your theory, y'all, on where the information came from?
Production.
That's the same thing they did to Phaedra. They better learn. Let production set them up.
But what really got me about this scene is one thing that I don't know if you're aware of is Jennifer and Jackie got into it last season. So Jennifer not wanting to say anything is because their children like each other, and she not trying to fuck that up again. So that's why she even said, I heard it. It went in one ear and not the other. My name Bennett. I ain't in it. Melissa didn't want to jump on it because Melissa and Teresa ain't never been cool. Marge don't want none of that energy from Jackie. Fuck Dolores. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Child, Melissa was sitting in the back eating that dag asparagus and was like,
But what is so messed up is, like, you come to this man's party. He is trying to hook you up with someone, yet you're trying to destroy his marriage. How does that work?
That's the thing about Teresa. She really isn't that smart. In all of her actions, she's not that smart. She was being vindictive, obviously, and being vindictive for petty reasons. She's on her I'm the OG type kick. And so anyone who has anything to disagree with her about, she can't stand them. On top of that, Jackie is smarter than her, and Jackie on the show, wealth-wise, has the most money.
You know what? The best way that I can equate this is, so Jackie is to Teresa what Claudia was to Nene.
Say that again.
Jackie is to Teresa what Claudia Jordan was to Nene, meaning that one person that you can't tongue wrestle with, and that it's just like, okay, I'm gonna just shut down. Okay, I don't want to hear like stop it. But I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying, "Oh well, Jackie was spreading a rumor last season about."
No, she wasn't.
No, all she
those were in the media. She just commented on them.
All she said is, if it walked like a duck and quack like a duck, it's a duck. That's all she said. And Teresa is the one that is all that. Again, season 1 reunion, when she got in Danielle's soft face and says, "Don't talk about my family." She did that. They showed when she went off on Kim D. Like, she's all about don't talk about my family, yet you're sitting here and you're running with this. And what was so crazy is, okay, never mind, because we ain't got to it yet. Keep going.
Well, I mean, we really did, because I mean, the only other storyline they was talking about is Jennifer and her mama and daddy, and her moving her daddy in. Her mom beating her daddy up. That's all I got from that. I mean,
I don't care.
I'm interested in that storyline. I really am. And then on top of that, we're going to expose her drinking problem.
That I'm interested in, is her being a fucking drunk. That I'm interested in. This is going to be the second season that her storyline has revolved around not her immediate family, but the rest of her family. So it's she's purposefully not trying to let us in. I care a little bit, but not that much.
Got it.
I want to see her face down, ass up when she got drunk and she just fell over on herself. This is what I'm here for.
Only reason why I'm interested in it because her relationship with her mother is very contentious, and that could possibly contribute to her alcoholism. Since her mother has such high standards of how a woman should be, how a wife should be, how life should be. We don't know.
She's one of them people that be trying to tell other people how their marriage and life should be working.
Yeah. From that, especially when you're from those backgrounds that really aren't American backgrounds, she's Turkish. So people have a lot of say in how you should operate in life. Like she even said her first season, it was basically almost like she snuck out to do a lot of things because she had that strict of a parentage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, so then let's just go ahead and fast forward. So they're planning this trip. They're going down to, what was it, Lake George?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm gonna say this, and y'all already said this a little bit, and it's in the chat. Somebody said it in the chat that it seemed like they sort of were fast forwarding these storylines to get to the meat and potatoes. Now, I don't know. I think we were talking about this off camera. Yeah. I don't know if it's because they sort of learned that. He was saying that y'all was saying, well, maybe they learned their lesson from Atlanta because people were like, let's just get to the bachelor party, the bachelorette party, because that's all people kept talking about. And why do we have to go through all this preliminary stuff? And people were talking about how boring it was. And I think that's probably part of it. But I also feel like, so this is not how New Jersey be rocking, because y'all know I'm new.
Oh, so, no,
I think this is a jam-packed season.
I mean, they look, don't get me wrong, they with the shit. But it's just, but I really feel like it, because even with the party was meant for Marge to bring up, hey, let's go to Lake George. It's just Teresa came to us with the bullshit. And here we are. And
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But if you watch the episode and you see how they was giving us a little sprinkle of each of their lives in the beginning and in the middle and right up towards the end, that lets you know, okay, we not even gonna sit here and give y'all all of this. And I like how they did. Like, okay, what's going on with Joe and Melissa? Okay, he tired, he drunk. His daughter got a boyfriend. He don't like that. Okay, Melissa gonna take her to the show. Meat and potato, and I'm just saying they gave us meat and potatoes with everybody. I was here for it because normally they let those scenes run for a couple of minutes. And
exactly. And I feel like I said, I mean, we did get caught up a little here and there, but for somebody like me, who's new to it, I had no reference point for any of it. So I'm looking at it, I'm watching, I'm paying attention. But my thing is, when you gave me that big old bone down to the birthday party, I don't care about the rest of this. I don't care about all this. It's like a whole lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that. So what happened was Margaret and who else was talking? They were on the phone. I think it might have been Melissa. And they were talking about what Teresa did and how it wasn't cool and why would Teresa do that. And so they decided, listen, before we go down to the lake, we really need to clear the air because I just felt like what Teresa did was kind of messed up. And then we find out that Jackie actually did hear what Teresa, because they were like, well, we hope it didn't get back to Jackie. We hope it didn't get back to Jackie. And we find out, but it did. It got back.
It had to, because she was going to every functioning auditory appendage.
She was going to everybody. Anybody that would listen. People she ain't even know. I mean, anybody that would listen.
Yep.
See, this was one of those shows. I mean, this is one of those parties that we do on these shows where the cast is a part of it, but they also cross over, and it was a real party for their real friends.
Yeah. And
so it wasn't just a cast event.
It was like a backyard party. This wasn't a party that was in a venue with 5,000 people.
Right. It was definitely a COVID-friendly event. It was outside, well, I'm not gonna say COVID-friendly, but it was an event during COVID, I should say. I don't know about COVID-friendly. But can I say something about these New Jersey girls before I go any further? Child, the first thing I texted y'all last night was, so these New Jersey girls, they don't even care about hair and makeup. They don't care. They come on camera looking hot. She rolled out of bed, which I kind of like because it does bring more authenticity to it. Because it's like everybody don't wake up with a full face of makeup. Like, let's be clear.
Yeah.
And if you're just chilling in your house, sitting around talking to your mama, you did not do all your hair and makeup for the event. And so I was here for it, but I just found it to be very interesting because it's been a long time since I looked at a reality show and people was just barefaced on camera.
Listen, after you done paid thousands of dollars to get your face lifted, I mean, why not?
But that's all the more reason why. Child.
And I will say, these facelifts aren't scary. They actually look good.
I mean, I was scared of them marks around that girl butt. Oh my God, did y'all see that?
Yeah. Frank said that's what I do to a flounder.
Right. We found out she got filleted, honey.
Y'all know Frank Sr. still spreading them cheeks. Y'all better stop playing with me.
And then he said that she said that he don't even like plastic surgery. But
the boyfriend.
The boyfriend doesn't like plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Well, for somebody, I can't tell you had 20 surgeries. I can't tell.
Yeah, she already had a facelift by the time she met him.
Lord, these people. Okay, so at the end of the episode, we see Teresa was invited over to the house. Oh, real quick, rewind a little bit more. Now, okay, let's go back to Dolores for a quick second and her weird situation. So her son is living with the boyfriend to study for the not the MCAT, the
LSAT.
The
one for being a lawyer.
No, what you take, Nate, for business school? What was that? Not the GRE. What's the other exam? I guess it's the GMAT. I know it got an M in it, and that's what he's studying for, the GMAT. So, what? That's weird.
We know, child. We know. We know.
Okay, I'll let it go. Go ahead.
Wait. Before we fully get to the end, before we get there, Jackie did call Teresa because she wanted to meet up at Margaret's because it's a neutral place, because it had this conversation in either one of the houses wouldn't have been good. But did y'all catch how she was disturbed in her spirit that Jackie called her like, I want to sit here and talk about it? Because I guess for whatever reason, I guess she thought it wasn't finna make its way back to her. I don't know why. But she was clearly disturbed. I'm like, oh, she wasn't ready. And I read Margaret.
Never ready. She's never ready.
Well, so Teresa gets to the house.
Stacy, that's why we call her Black Dolores.
Yeah. Oh wow!
And then, like, if you would have saw Melissa's pictures before her nose job and how she kept her hair straight, you would have swore up and down Melissa was biracial. You would have swore up and down. She even said people used to ask her all the time, "Are you biracial?" She would get that asked all
the time. Okay.
Maybe one of her recessive genes popped in, and that's why she's so melanated. But
I mean, Turkey right there. Listen, Turkey ain't too far. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's Jen. We talking about Melissa.
Yeah, she's Italian.
Oh, Italian. Oh,
yeah. I'm thinking that maybe they from the southern part of the boot.
Well, you know, there's some Italians that I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're dark. They can get dark.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so they get to the house to have this conversation, and Teresa is not. She is standing in her shit. Like somebody told me, that's what Evan doing down to the gym. That's what I had heard. Well, who told you? Don't worry about who told me. Well, who told you? Well, I don't want to tell you who told me. Well, who told you? I don't remember who told me, but I heard it and I'm standing in it. I said, oh.
Do they know me?
But she's doing it because she doesn't like Jackie, 1, and 2. Jackie is the only one. Melissa is somewhat second, but not really. But Jackie is the only one that will sit here and call her the fuck out.
Yeah, she's like, fuck you.
Only one.
I care less. You don't impress me.
That's why she carried that bone, because Teresa hold grudges. That's all this was. This was her form of get back. She just didn't think that it was gonna blow up in her face.
And I don't know why.
You said she cared. You know, she hold grudges. What was the grudge to hold?
She don't like her because she says no. She puts up boundaries. She pushes back. On top of that, she has more money than her. On top of that, she has more education than her. Teresa's very, I guess, insecure would be the word.
And Teresa wants people to always be on her side and kiss her ass. Jackie's not doing that.
And again, she on that OG shit. I'm the OG of the franchise. You got to do X, Y, Z. You got to kiss the ring. You got to get on your knees and thank God when you see me.
And you're absolutely correct, author Deanna Dean. Absolutely correct. That's all I'm gonna say about that. You were absolutely correct. Okay, well, she stood in it. Jackie ain't back down from it, and Jackie even said, "Well, what if I told you that I heard a rumor about, I guess, her daughter
Gia
snort coke down to the bathroom?" I said, "Well, I don't know who told me. I don't remember how I heard it. I don't know where I saw it." Now, personally, I didn't see a problem with that analogy.
I ain't see a problem with that either.
To me, that is not talking about your child. As a matter of fact, that is proving her point that you have no proof. You coming to me about my husband with no proof, nothing. But you so mad about the exact same situation with your daughter. Now all of a sudden I'm talking about your daughter and you're not going to talk to me no more because I crossed the line. Ma'am, you crossed the line talking about my husband.
And then let's also talk about how she tried to Jedi mind trick her and say, wouldn't you want someone to come to you about your husband? First and foremost, you went to everybody else about my husband. And then I had to come to you about why you went to everybody else about my husband.
Well, that's true too. She did not go to her. She did go to at her husband's birthday party.
Exactly.
And then even said, well, you know, they say where there's smoke, there's fire. And if it's not true, then you should get mad. Well, if it's not true that Gia is snorting coke in the bathroom at parties, then you shouldn't get mad.
But I think that was just her excuse to get up and walk out anyway. Because like you said, she wasn't ready. She was not ready.
She's not that bright. She's not. Teresa doesn't do well with words.
But everybody, but not everybody, but a lot of people on Twitter was saying that, oh, she was so wrong. She was
she wasn't. She wasn't. That was even playing field. You talk about my husband, who is my family. I get to talk about your daughter, who's grown and part of your family.
But you have some people that feel, and this is more or less within circles, certain things are off limits. Now, what I will say is this: though Gia is her child, Gia is also an adult.
Yeah, Gia grown. Gia can get this one
too. Well, she act grown. I ain't gonna say she
grown. You want to play this game?
She act grown.
I don't think so. But
no.
You know, I don't think so because again, it is just an example, and she's showing the atrocity of
a rumor
spreading a rumor that could potentially ruin her family. That is
no basis.
Right. You can't even say what's
throwing it out there.
But not even, and also with that, if y'all remember the flashback that they gave us in the episode when she came at Kim D asking, because Kim D was saying that her Joe was going around cheating on her, and she said, do you have proof that he was cheating on me? Kim D said no. She was like, well, then you shouldn't say anything. Now let's take that.
Situation isn't different here.
And let's put it right here. Let's superimpose this into the same exact situation. Now, where I stand, I know everybody say this, it's an analogy. I just took it as, okay, you want to play? Fuck it, we finna play. Because I made it clear on my review, like, look, I'm a very nice person, but I'm with the shits. I really am. If you decide you come at me, I'm not finna cut you to the white meat. I'm cutting you to the bone. I'm going to hit you where it hurts. I don't care how vile it is. If we at war, if we at war, ain't nothing to fuck off limits. But I warn people before we get to this point. Are you sure you don't want a refund on this ticket you just purchased? Because if not, I'm finna give you the show that you want.
To quote the great poet Tupac, I ain't no killer, but don't push me. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you know what? Now I'm finna quote Funky Dineva. When they go low, I go to hell. That's what that was.
That's what I'm saying. But look at the situation with Kandi. Even though what Phaedra said was a lie, people still think Kandi was doing things to Portia and Shamia. I get what y'all are saying, but still, why that analogy? Mm-hmm. It don't matter because she still ain't get it. She still ain't understand.
Oh, and not just that. I mean, they're like Jackie is still standing in her shit. She has done some
I don't regret that.
She was like, it was an analogy, and I'm not taking it back.
I don't blame. I wouldn't take it back either. Because again, I don't see nothing wrong with her analogy. I understand what y'all are saying, and I respect where y'all are coming from in the chat. But I don't see nothing wrong with it. Because see,
I don't see nothing wrong with it either.
Because that's the kind of analogy I would use. Because
you trying to destroy my family all because I say no? Please, that's not fun.
But one thing that I do want to say, even though people are saying that is wrong, before we got to that point, Jackie, in essence, broke the fourth wall without breaking it, and she was saying, just admit that it was a lie, that it's not true, because the cameras are right there.
Yes, I saw that too.
And out.
You're gonna get in front of these cameras and say this is not a lie.
And because she doubled down and she didn't want to do it, again, at this point, all gloves are off.
Gloves are off. You want to play that game. You want to in front of these cameras. You're gonna sit up here and you're gonna stand firm in your shit. Well, here we go. Because you put that rumor out there and you're not even trying to extinguish it. And then you're trying to play me like you came to me in some sisterly manner. You didn't come to me at all. I had to hear from the shit third party, and I had to call you about it.
Right.
And what Jackie was trying to do is what Candy didn't do. Candy didn't just sit there and put it all out there and let's try to dead it right then. For whatever reason, I don't know, that's on Candy. Jackie whole thing is, okay, now let's go ahead and cut this shit right now. I done heard it. Let's just fess up right now so we can sit here and we can work towards moving past it. Teresa didn't want to do it. So look, you play a stupid game, you win a stupid prize. Or what Monique said, when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite. Here you go.
But Candy did defend herself, though. She defended herself. She defended herself multiple times. Remember when she printed out text messages and all of that? She defended herself.
What I'm saying is, Candy could have somewhat deaded it a hell of a lot earlier rather than it being dragged out. Is what I'm saying. Like when she sat down with Portia and that came up, she could have gathered herself, came back and been like, okay, well, who told you this? Let's tell me who said what. Like, get to the bottom of it so it could just be a done deal. Because she didn't do that and it went on for multiple episodes, the fans and people watching were able to run with it. Jackie's whole thing is, I don't know if she knew this was all going to be in one episode, but because I heard it. Let's go ahead and kill it now before it grows legs and it becomes something bigger than what it needs to be.
And DC, I get your point, but see, I can also throw back on Teresa. She should have just said that about Jackie creeping out on her husband, as opposed to saying her husband is down at his gym getting blowjobs or whatever. So, hey, you want to play with my family? I get to play with yours.
And look, it's not even just family. You also playing with his money.
Yes.
Granted, this is during COVID. So gyms really ain't doing much. But if you have people that attend that gym hearing this rumor, do you think they really ever want to come to this gym if he's doing some backdoor stuff? So it's levels to it.
Oh, he owns gyms?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that part. I thought he was just down at the gym working out. That's why she kept saying that's my business. You could affect his business. Okay, I got it now. Okay. That does.
It was intended to be a whole nother layer to it. I didn't mind that analogy.
Yeah, that has a whole nother layer to this.
Like Teresa played a stupid game again. She's not that bright. She thought she was gonna get away with it, but again, you going up against Jackie, who's smarter than you.
And that's why Jackie told her, I am a lawyer. She was trying to let her know, like, look, I'm trying to help you right now.
Gonna back up for this or not?
Because you were on camera admitting that you don't even know where you don't even remember. Not that you don't want to tell. I don't remember.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So where's this going, y'all? Y'all the experts. Where this going? So we're gonna go to Lake George. What's going on? What we got going on the rest of the season? Y'all know?
Well, I mean, there's the Lake George thing. We have Joe Gorga having another blow up, which he is good for. And I'm here for it because he's the only one that can even remotely check Teresa. And the fact that he said that either her or Joe, her Joe is the reason that they mom is in the grave. I was like, or dad, whichever one. I was like, oh, we going here, Joe?
Well, no, he said my mom, but remember that came up at the reunion, and he wouldn't speak on it at the reunion. He said, "Listen, my niece and nephew, or my nieces, whatever." He was like, "I really don't want to say too much," but yeah, that came up at the reunion where that came up by his mom, and
I know.
Yeah, so I did see that. Yeah.
But I mean, and then I guess other people have alleged problems. Supposedly Melissa stepping out on Joe. I'm like, oh, y'all just coming with all the mess. All right.
Okay. All right.
And Teresa has honestly been trying to push that Melissa has been cheating on Joe for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what her I guess she doesn't like Melissa because Melissa's prettier than her, because her obsession with them not wanting to be together is strange.
Okay, now since I got you here, little baby, what is your take? And we finna go back in time. What's your take on the christening? Because people are saying that Joe and Melissa was wrong. I don't see where they was wrong, because if you know that your brother ain't talking to you,
then go over there and sit down and shut up.
But why would you go over to your brother during his child's christening to try to have a conversation with him, knowing that y'all not talking at the moment? And then he tells you, do what you normally do and take a fucking walk. And you decide to make a big deal, and then your husband get involved, and now we got a brawl at the christening. Like, when I tell you Joe, how many times they done fought? 2-3 damn times.
They just fought down to the christening?
They tore that christening out the frame.
Oh yeah, that christening was
done.
Lord, they fighting down to the
It was done.
And then I think Teresa's mom got hit in the midst of all that kerfuffle. I'm telling you, look, Jersey.
It was a whole mess.
Yes. And then you had Joe, and the one thing that upset me, I don't know if it was at the christening or not, but when Joe had that heart-to-heart with his father, I hate every time Andy play that shit back, because it does something to me when he's like, "You're about," I'm like, okay, all right. It's some issues that all they ask is the Gorgas, to include Teresa, they ask need counseling on multiple levels. But I'm here for the best.
All agree that Melissa played Caroline, Jackie, and Catherine and their husbands like fools. I felt so bad for all of them. They got played by. Well, what happened? I don't know what happened. How Melissa play all them people?
I'm trying to think back on what happened.
I can't remember.
Because the only thing that I can possibly think of is,
because this is my first episode.
Because Melissa wasn't here for Teresa, and it came to a point where she just decided, you know what, I'm gonna try to be a good sister-in-law, and I'm gonna just have her back no matter what is going on. That's the most that I could think of, even though that came back to bite her in the ass. Don't know why she did it, but okay.
Okay.
But I told you, get caught up on the reunions. You ain't even had to watch all the seasons. I just said watch the reunions.
I didn't watch all of them, but I watched the reunion, the last reunion.
I give you that.
That's not good enough. I mean, that's why I have y'all. Okay. So the Real Housewives. Listen, we're gonna talk a little bit about the Real Housewives down to the Salt Lake City. Listen, y'all. Listen.
I'm telling you right now, I don't have too much for Mary. All my smoke is with Jen and Lisa.
Hold on, because little baby, you one of the people that owe me an apology.
Give me just 1 second. Y'all keep going, but I gotta go off for a second.
So first of all, let's start from the beginning and work our way forward. So, Mary, the whole situation, I never believed Mary. Y'all was the ones that said Mary was. I said I didn't believe Mary. I said Mary was lying. Lil Baby was one of the people that said that she believed Mary. And Mary admitted that she lied last night. So, Lil Baby, you owe me an apology.
Okay.
I want my apology.
Okay.
Oh, you're going to Jen Shaw me. Okay.
Okay, really, be. I apologize.
Thank you so much.
Okay, but look, but with that scene right there, I think you and me both said it. This whole thing could have been deaded had somebody just called Mary, got her on the line, invited her to an event.
But you saw that Lisa did call Mary. Bravo didn't show the footage. Lisa did call Mary, and Mary admitted that she lied, and that's why they didn't show the footage, because they wanted to let this whole storyline play out about whether they said it or not. So you saw that Lisa did call Mary.
What I mean is, she should have called Mary and all the girls been there. Where we're not playing telephone, where y'all heard what she said. We all standing right here. Granted, Bravo probably would have not shown that too, but I'm just saying, I don't know why we drug this out as long as we did.
Okay, switch over. Let me just get this last part. Lil Mackie said when they were on the outs with Teresa, Melissa persuaded them to hate Teresa. Then in season 7, when they were on good terms, Joe and Melissa turned on them. That's what she's talking about.
Ah.
I wasn't watching it, so I don't know nothing about that.
Well, I mean, that's the last time when Melissa actually had a storyline, because since then, she been having fake storylines left and right and center, trying to make us believe
talking about having a baby and all that. It's like, ma'am, you are done having children. Why we keep doing that?
Hey, Tabitha, what's up, babe? All right, well, let's start at the beginning of this Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We're going to get into my redemption, because DC still don't feel like I'm redeemed, but we're going to get into my redemption. Okay. Now, Jen said that the day that Mary made the comment about the hospital, that she never even went to the hospital. So my question is,
why are you mad, ho?
Were you offended?
Why are we here?
If I walk in a room and I say it smells like hospital, but I'm saying, if I know I don't have no dog and I check the bottom of my feet and they don't have
exactly,
I know you're not talking about me.
Exactly.
So, and why are we just hearing about this at the reunion?
This just lets me believe Jen Shaw was going to use Mary and her familial background as a way to, I guess, become the fan favorite. I guess she thought people would automatically hate Mary due to that.
I was like,
no. You showed your ass more than Mary did. Mary
yes, she absolutely did. And remember, we go back to that episode. Mary never even said it to Jen. She said it to the other lady. She never even said it to Jen.
And I think she was just saying it in jest.
Right. It was like she walked in the room and was like, it's not like hospital in here. So if you hadn't been to the hospital that day,
why are we here?
In the words of the great Deborah Cox, how did we get here?
And we have a Chicago remix of that where is how did you get here, bitch? I caught the bus.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm like,
and you seen up in first episode going in on her about that comment, and it's like, for what?
And then Jen tried to gaslight her and say, well, you never apologized. And she was like, but I did.
Yes, she did.
Talking about, so, well, you didn't mean it. Ma'am.
You can't do that now. Now, you can't do that.
You don't get to tell me whether I mean the apology or not, ma'am.
First off, she did it in the moment. She didn't do like you and wait a whole damn year in a reunion to get it out.
Yeah.
And someone had to bring it to your attention at that.
I said... Well, then, so then, all right, now let's get to this whole 7-Eleven situation. Listen, again, Mary, you did say it. You said it. Now, here's the thing, and I said it in my review, and I said it the first time around. If I roll up to a 7-Eleven and there's a bunch of sketchy-looking men out front, I don't care if they black, white, or purple, I'm going to put my car in reverse, and I'm going to keep it moving.
And that's what my issue is with Jen.
There's a 7-Eleven 2 blocks down the street, because there's always a 7-Eleven 2 blocks down the street. I can go get whatever I'm getting from the next 7-Eleven. Now, what I will say, though, is, Mary, we're going to come back. I know you got something to say, little baby. We're going to come back to Jen and that. But, Mary, you showed, because, see, I was giving you the benefit of the diz out, but then you showed your hand when you said your husband was white, because he not. And then she said, well, he's close enough. He's light. And here's the thing. We've been arguing over to the BBW about, Basketball Wives, about colorism. This, ladies and gentlemen, is colorism. The woman let you know that she want her husband. He's so light that she want him to be white because that's what she wants to really marry is a white man. Okay, she done told y'all that. Now, it's one thing to have a preference. We all have preference on what we like to date. It's something totally different to say this is what I want because it's white and white is right. Now, tell me, I see you went to your black screen, y'all. Come on back, y'all. I know you're right there on the other side of the screen. Come on back. Little baby, and y'all, I'ma shut up. Y'all say what I need to say.
Okay, so back to Jen. I don't believe Mary said, I'm scared of black people hanging outside the store. I think Jen added the black part because I personally think Jen believes people hanging outside of stores are black, and that's something that black people do. I'm here to tell you, my people that I am related to and know of and have befriended work, and therefore they don't have time to loiter outside of convenience stores. So how she's getting out, I don't understand. I do believe Mary says she's not comfortable with going to convenience stores where there's a whole bunch of loiterers. I get that. I don't know anyone who would be. I think Jen added that black part.
Well, no, Mary admitted that she said it. She said at the dinner, she admitted she said it.
No, she said whatever. She did not agree to that.
But she should have been clear in her non.
The only thing she agreed to was the whole her not going into 7-Eleven if there's a lot of people out. She didn't agree to the whole what their ethnicities were.
Right. She did not agree to that.
Listen, that's fine because I'm okay with it either way. I'm okay with it either way. Because if you're looking sketchy and you're looking like you're gonna rob me, I don't care what color you are. I'm going to the next 7-Eleven.
Right. That's my issue with Jen. That's Jen's interpretation of what blackness is. We stand outside of convenience stores.
And I did not come on really be shouting to sit here and argue with the hostess, but what I will say is based off of everything that Mary gave last night, she clearly is suffering from internalized colorism.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm not giving her much.
Even to the point where we have seen pictures of her in her original skin color. You know, like I forget who panel I said on, but I said what Mary gives me is y'all know when y'all cook y'all toast and it's just a little bit too burnt, so you grab you a knife, a butter knife, and then you scrape it off. That's Mary. So what else we got to talk about?
Yeah, I'm not really giving Mary that much on that. And honestly, in that scene, I noticed Mary, and she said it very well at the end. Mary isn't a great linguist, and that is something you have to be when you're an orator, i.e. a preacher.
Yeah, Mary doesn't.
I really do believe at that moment she was jumbling up a bunch of her words and thoughts, and the shit just didn't come out right.
I agree. Okay, y'all, let's take a pause for the cause. Listen, I was gonna make this announcement at the end, but some of y'all done already seen it. So I hit my 5,000 subscribers today. I'm so happy. I saw it by accident. I wasn't even looking. Somebody else told me, and I was like, "What?" So thank you guys. I appreciate it. I see people already putting it in the chat. So I was gonna mention it at the end, but I don't want y'all to feel like I'm ignoring y'all because I'm not. Thank you so much, all of y'all that have been here, been rocking with me. All right, so next stop is 10,000. Next stop is 10,000. So if you're not already subscribed and you're sitting in here enjoying this conversation, go and hit the button. But thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, thank you. So let's go and get back into this. Say, okay, so all right. Now I am gonna give Mary a little bit more. I'm gonna give her a little bit more. She sat there and admitted that she lied about the will. Now, I understand that she had to backtrack off of that because so much had come out about her and the family being in litigation over whether there was a will or was not a will. That for her to admit that there was a will opens up a whole can of worms. Like, I understand that she backtracked off of it because legally she had put herself in some hot water. But ma'am.
I remember when she talked about it, I think maybe the first 2 episodes, and it was some semantics played. And research and learning, they had been in probate court for basically 20 years?
Yeah. Her family has been suing her since the grandmother died. And what they said was that the grandmother didn't leave a will.
Right.
And so everything went to the husband, which is probably the real reason why Mary married his ass, because
absolutely she playing a long game.
Okay, that's really
a long game.
That's probably what the real reason is.
That's why she ain't really attracted to that man.
Oh, I'm dreaming bigger, Zap. I said that's the next stop. I ain't say that was the last stop. I said that's the next stop.
But yeah, I remember when she first said it. First, she said it was in her grandmother's will, which is like denoting that there is some paperwork. But I do remember the second time she said it was her grandmother's will, which is something like on her deathbed we had made like a little paper.
No, she said it was a will. Right, she said it was a will. Yeah, yeah, and I agree. I agree, DC. I do think that when we start looking at all the breakdown of it, you married the man. You married the man to get to all the businesses and all the because he wanted because she's not a will. And again, I don't want to get into all of the ins and the outs, but allegedly, the family believes that there was a will and that Mary and him were in cahoots to either destroy the will, get rid of the will, whatever. There's a lot. It's, like I said, they've been in probate for this has been going on for 20 years. There's a lot of to it. And there are videos floating all over the internet. Sherelle's World did an interview with 2 of the family members who gave their version of what they think happened and some fact from fiction. And both of them stated that they were suing, that the family has been in litigation because Mary and her husband have said from the beginning that there is no will. So when she came on there and said, well, and I know why she did it on the show. She was trying to make it make sense for us as to why she made her grandmother's husband so that we wouldn't look at her too crazy. But on the flip side, you put your foot in your mouth because you got this litigation. And so, yeah.
I mean,
she could have possibly got it.
I'm the only one that's not looking at her crazy. I'm just like, okay.
My thing is this, when I get all the details, I ain't looking at her crazy, but in the beginning, I was like,
I just want to know why the grandmother didn't chose her specifically, because she has aunts, she has uncles, she has cousins, she has siblings, like all of
you had a lot of
probably the favorite child. She was the favorite.
I mean, you had a lot of people looking at it crazy. I'm just like, okay, well, one, we not gonna act like this doesn't play out in the Bible. It's only just it's reverse. It's y'all know what I'm getting at. I ain't finna go down that rabbit hole. But not even just that. It's like, okay, look, she getting to the bag. She getting how she live. Kudos to you. You are like, look, she where the money resides. I ain't mad at it. Get your money. Get your money. Because I
see a long game.
And and you got people that want to judge. It's like, okay, well, we not finna sit here and act like some of y'all ain't did some sketchy for a little something. So it is what. And here's the thing, not even just that. We had Heather, and I like Heather, but she even said when she married her husband, she wasn't marrying for love. She was married for some other stuff.
Yeah.
She was being a good Mormon and he had the right pedigree. Well, I'm going to disagree a little bit with you, DC. I mean, not disagree, because I agree with what you're saying. But the problem is Mary ain't going to do nothing. Mary has shown you that she ain't going to look out for her family. Mary going to look out for Mary.
Folks like
so
that.
For business purposes, I get it. But Mary ain't going to look out for her family. Because if she was going to look out for her family, she would be looking out for her family, because she's not restricted in spending the money, clearly, by looking at her house and all of this shit in her house, and the fact that she can't even count how many houses she has. If she wanted to take care of her family and look out for her family, she could already be doing that. But
it makes me wonder what was done. First and foremost, we all know Mary has some trauma with her.
Yeah.
You can clearly see it. But I wonder what happened between her and her family, because something had to have happened, because the reason that she doesn't even want to help them, like Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey used to help her sister out a whole lot, and then Mariah Carey's sister did her dirty. So what Mariah do? Cut her ass smooth the hell off.
And there may be a lot to it. There may be a lot more to that story as it relates to why they have the relationship. Now the brother, when they interviewed her uncle, her mother's brother. He said that her mother is off. That her mother's off. I mean, he didn't say. I don't want to use the word crazy because I think we use that in the wrong way. But he said so. He did say that Mary's mama is a little special. That she's a preacher as well, but that her church has sort of, and that she left the church and started her own church when the grandmother died, when she didn't inherit. She started her own church because she was a pastor too. And when she didn't inherit the church like she thought she should have or thought she was going to, she started her own church, and it is kind of dissolved into a cult. And so he did speak on that in the interview with Sherelle's World. So
they said Mary's mama's church got like one of the best choirs though.
Well, listen. So okay, let's get off of that. Okay, but I just want to bring up the fact that she did admit to that lie. Now, since we in the story of lies and word play. Let's talk about this Heather, Lisa, I knew you, I did not know you situation. Here's what I think, and I see you, y'all. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but here's what I really think the situation is. This is what I think it went down.
Mm-hmm.
I think when they were in college, Lisa was a part of the in crowd, the it girls, right? Heather was on the outskirts. The people on the outside always know the people on the inside. The people on the inside don't necessarily know the people on the outside. I do think that Lisa knew who Heather was, but I don't think they were friends. I don't think they hung out. I don't think they knew each other like that. And Heather's even said that. Heather said, no, we weren't friends, but you knew who I was. You knew enough to tell stories about me, about how I was in college. So for you to be telling stories about me in college, that means at least you knew who I was. So for you to keep Mariah carrying me, talking about something you don't know me, and I think that's hurtful to Heather. Not that she's looking for Lisa's validation, but just girl. Now, what I thought, okay, y'all talk about whatever else y'all want to talk about, y'all. Because I got one more thing, but that's towards the end. So,
the only thing that I want to talk about is, even though Mary, I think her brain moves faster than her mouth, so sometimes she can't really articulate what she's trying to say. But Mary know how to shut them down, and I was.
Oh yes,
I was
getting Jen together.
Like when Jen started doing it, she was like, "Put your finger down. Your child is not here." She shut up.
She did. She showed up.
When she was coming there, she was like, "You would apologize again? Look, we have a whole lot of cars to get to."
Right. A whole lot of cars to get to, ma'am. Oh. I'm not gonna apologize to you again, ma'am. Again.
That's what I didn't like about Jen. Like, I guess she wants to feel like she's owed something.
Mm-hmm. But she's been doing that all season because she did it to Mary and then she did it to Whitney. How many times is Whitney going to apologize for doing what she did at the party? Like, it's how many times?
Really quick, I'm just going to put myself on mute because somebody is outside just with their hand on the horn. I don't know if y'all can hear it.
But go ahead.
Oh, y'all can't hear it?
I can't hear it.
Okay, well then never mind.
I can.
You can't? Okay, I would just mute the stuff.
Okay.
Baby, that face is tight in DC. Oh my God, those eyebrows.
Listen, somebody owe Lisa something because, ma'am, I don't know what procedure Lisa had done before that reunion, but don't do it again. Something was just off about Lisa. Am I the only one? And I'm not even a mean person like that, but am I the only one? Y'all don't realize that something looked like it was a little off with Lisa's face at the reunion? I mean, it might have just been her makeup. Maybe she had too much tan because her skin did look real tanned. I don't know.
Oh, it was that self-tanner because you could see it on her hand. Her hands were brown.
Oh. Anyway. So here's what was funny, y'all. And then we going, hey, Spilly boy. Mwah, mwah. So
wait, can I just say one thing before we get to the coup de
grace?
I love me some Meredith, but Meredith made me mad last night.
Listen, Meredith said, I was waiting for Meredith to come up. Meredith said the next person who speaks on my family is not my friend. I said, girl, I was like, what? I'm gonna whip their ass. Hey, Auntie Natalia.
I was like, that's it.
Right. I was waiting for it. It's gonna meet me outside at 3:00. Like,
or I mean, you ain't got no skeletons to be like the next person that say something. I'm gonna air out your whole family. Like,
right.
that's
I'm going through my phone and I got some text messages to share with Andy. Like, girl, it's not my friend. Girl, ain't none of them your friend anyway.
well.
Now, one thing I was peeping, Meredith was peeping the scene, and she was
Oh yeah.
watching how her quote unquote friend Lisa was moving.
She was, and Heather was planting that seed. Let me tell y'all about. So that's the part I was gonna get to. Can I tell y'all I was loving Heather at the end? Now at the beginning, I was like, Heather, you girl, let it go. Like you really feel like I feel like you got this chip on your shoulder and you really are doing too much. But by the end, when I tell y'all I was so here for Heather, she was playing.
This girl's not your friend. And what I think it is, because Lisa has that self-righteous, very judgmental attitude, I think she actually, outside of just being unaware of Meredith's marital status, I think she's judging Meredith for dating while being separated and divorcing. I think she's judging her for that shit, and she's distancing herself from that. Also, Jen was the one, I won't necessarily call her the breakout star, but she caused the most commotion. Eyes were on her most of the season. Mouths were on her most of the season. Lisa barely gave anything, but fuck them kids. It's all about my business. So let me cuddle up to her and see if I can make some sort of alliance and get some of that light shine on me.
Well, see, what really upset me with Lisa is I agree with what Mary said at the season finale, where I can't tell you who to be friends with. Like, if you want to be friends with her, cool. But the issue comes where now that we are at the reunion and you've seen her and her Twitter fingers from when the show aired.
Exactly.
Why are you still sitting here in this woman's corner when fuck everybody else is on this stage? You my friend for what, 10, 11 years. So you
right. We were legit friends before the show.
Yeah, and not just that. And we've also seen, because they see certain parts of the show, not everything. So now they've been seeing the show back. You saw how she was carrying this bone about my marriage and all this other stuff. And
exactly.
Why are you still championing this woman when
and
she
put it off on Whitney and Heather at that? Like they were the ones who brought it up and was spreading
they were the ones, because Heather specifically was like, that ain't my business. That's between them. I saw a couple of times she refused to carry the bone when Jen first came to her about it. She was like, well, why are you even repeating it? If you and Meredith are cool, why are you telling me Meredith's business? Because now you mad at her. And then when when Whitney came to Heather was like, when they was on that ski slope, Heather was like, that ain't my business.
Exactly.
So my thing is, if anything, Heather should be the one whose back you really have, because Heather is the one that didn't seem to be worried about your marriage. And probably because she went through it herself and she knows how that can be when you're going through a divorce or whatever and people being in your business.
Right.
But she was clear to be like, I don't have nothing to do with that. I'm here for them bringing all of them back. If you want to know the truth of the matter, I'm here for them bringing all of them back. Just don't ice out Mary this time. They allowed Jen to ice Mary out, and I don't think they would do that again, especially after this reunion. I don't think they'll do that again.
Now, DC asks how we think Andy did.
I think
he did a little bit better from Potomac, but not by much.
I think Andy, to me, he didn't ask. He asked the questions I didn't care about, and he didn't ask the questions that I did care about. Why he let Mary off the hook when you caught her in lies and you just kept going like you don't know she lied?
But you want to sit here and hold Mary for granted. Some of the questions that he asked Mary were on point, but you held Mary's feet all the way to the fire. But you let up on the other women. Like, hopefully Andrew Booger Sugar Cohen redeems himself for part 3.
I hope that they go back in part 3. I hope they go back to Jen, because the husbands are going to be on there. And I hope they do double back to Jen carrying the bone about Meredith's marriage, because I really feel like they are letting her off the hook. I agree.
They are
letting her off the hook.
I don't understand why
she was the one that did that. And it was blatant that she did it.
I really don't understand why she's not getting the smoke that she deserves, because she's been at the center of all chaos and confusion amongst this group.
And the only reason that she did it is because she was deflecting. Because that's what people do when something is going on in their life. They want to sit here and hone in on somebody else's and bring their stuff to the forefront, so you're not focusing on them.
Well,
Because
that's what that is.
but you,
thank you, mother. Thank you. Oh, Supreme number. Yes, Supreme number 2. You only got one Supreme alive, James. Diana, the only one still alive, James. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you.
Now, I do have a question for y'all.
What's up?
What do y'all think about not only the tantrum that Lisa threw, but how, I'm going to use the word, how aggressively she was moving, how she walked up on Heather, because everybody else was sitting down, but she stood up. So she took a dominant stance, walking up on people, I just want to know what y'all thought about that.
I had a problem with all of them getting out their seat. I didn't understand why they were allowed to get out of their seat at any point. Because Lisa got out of her seat and somebody else got out of their seat at one point.
Andy?
Well, Andy, he went to go get the text messages, but yeah, Lisa, but now I will say this, when Lisa got up out her seat, it was after they weren't, remember, that was after they went on break. So they weren't filming. Mm-hmm. But something else happened. But anyway, she was aggressive though. She was angry and she was aggressive. But wait a minute, did you see? But did you see how Meredith played Lisa? Meredith said, Lisa was like, Meredith, can you believe what Heather is saying? And Meredith was like, I really wasn't paying attention. What she said? Meredith was like, I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. That's why you got the world 3 new ones.
I just think again, Lisa's pulling a Jen. She saw what Jen did to get the attention on her, so she said, "I'm going to do the same thing because everyone thinks I'm a snooze fest."
But then she go in the back and starts crying not only to her husband but to production. Granted, I give her a thumbs up for not crying in front of the ladies, minus that one time when the kids got brought up. But you go in the back to a producer nonetheless, and it seemed like you're weaponizing your tears, and all for what? Because so you're being attacked when you're the one that's up there being aggressive.
She was aggressive the whole time, and like I said, she was here for it. Heather was here for all the smoke. Heather wanted all the smoke, and when Heather was sitting there putting her makeup on and laughing at Lisa while Lisa was having a whole meltdown, I was so here for it. I said, Heather, you better.
And then called out the fact that she was doing a performance. Like, are you watching your performance right now?
That thing was hilarious to me, and Whitney was just standing back like, I don't even.
And speaking of performances, I want Jen to understand something. Just because you say that didn't happen, that doesn't mean that didn't happen. Because they have it on film.
I thought you were about to say her trying to take on the plight of the African American woman. I thought you were about to go there.
We're going to get to that next episode.
Oh, okay.
We're going to get to that.
Jen, listen. We already know that Jen, listen. Okay, I'm going to let that one go. The other thing that was interesting, and not to harp on the point, but how you don't know Heather, but you recommended Heather for the show?
I didn't understand that either. She told on herself in that moment.
How, Sway?
There was obviously something you knew about her that was interesting enough to be on the show.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well,
yeah.
Any final thoughts on part 2 of the Real Salt Lake City, them people?
I'm ready for part 3 because we're gonna get down to
well, we got the husbands coming on next episode, so that'll be interesting to see what
we're gonna learn if he has his other family.
And it looks like Jen has another meltdown on stage and walks off stage. Well, they said it took them 13 hours to film, but now I see why.
They were acting the ass.
Because they were acting a whole
And Mary was the one trying to keep them on track. Again, when she's like,
Mary was like,
all these cards.
You need to keep this going. Eric, listen. Lil Mackie, to answer your question, Dallas is boring this season. They doing too much. But for those of you who watch the Real Housewives of Dallas, let me tell y'all will understand what I'm getting ready to say. Leanne Locken is somewhere sitting on the sidelines laughing her ass off because y'all made her the scapegoat and y'all didn't listen to nothing she tried to tell y'all about Deandra being whiny and how Carrie was a bully. Everybody wanted to harp on the fact that she kept calling Carrie the little Mexican. And y'all was like, she being racist, which, let me be clear, that probably wasn't the best choice of words. And it did come off as racially insensitive. But I feel like because she kept doing that, people excuse Carrie's bad behavior just because Leanne's way of expressing herself was not the most appropriate. But Carrie was a bitch. And she was a bully last season. And it's like they let her off the hook and they put everything on Leanne. And now Leanne ain't on the show. And we seeing it for what it really is. So I agree, Lil Mackie, this season is not really giving me a whole lot. It really is kind of boring. But I think that it is exposing some true colors. And I feel like Leanne will be back next season. If they offer her enough money, because we know Leanne ain't got no money. If they offer her enough money, Leanne will be back on the show next season. Because they realizing, one, the show's not as exciting with Leanne not on the show. And two, they realized this wasn't all Leanne. Because I didn't realize how whiny Deandra was. That is a whiny ass woman. And Carrie, well, I knew Carrie was a bully. You go back and look at my reviews from last season, I can tell you that Carrie is my bully.
I forget all about Dallas. I started and then I dropped it, and then like Tuesday night,
this year's
Queen
not that
Sugar came on, and after Queen Sugar went off, so did my TV. I forgot about everything that proceeded after that.
Yeah, this season isn't that good. It really isn't. They don't have part of it. There are a couple of things that changed this season. Brandy was more of a character, but she has tampered down a lot. And part of the reason why she's tampered down so much is because of what happened to her last season, where she got caught up in the racist comments, and she had to go into rehab and go through all of that. And so she's sort of like on a different trajectory as well. Plus, we found out she was pregnant, and I don't know if she reveals it by the end of the season, but certainly in the beginning of the season, either she didn't know or she wasn't saying. So that's part of it, is that Brandy isn't her normal. Brandy is usually the party girl. Brandy's character is the Ashley of like the party girl, the young girl, the balls to the wall, always taking shots. You know, I'm trying to think of a good example of who the Shamia DeVoe, not Shamia, the Portia, the young partier, always ready for the party. That's who Brandy was. And so she's not that person this season because of what happened last year with all of the comments she got caught. Some old comments resurfaced about her making the racist comments. And then Leanne isn't there. And Leanne was like the Giselle. As much as you hated Giselle keeps the shit going. You know what I'm saying? So when you don't have those two characters and you're just left with a lot of the auxiliary characters that sort of played into everybody else's storyline, nobody's carrying a story. Like Stephanie is a sweetheart, but don't nobody care about her starting a nonprofit. But I love Stephanie, but don't nobody care about her starting a nonprofit. And now that we don't have
training plot line is also through also.
Right. And now that we don't have Mama D and Deandra, because listen, Mama D, Deandra's mama, baby, she would give the other Mama D a run for her money. Because listen, she would talk about Deandra like a whole listen.
Lil Mackie, I'm here for it. Honestly, I think they should just keep Gina and fire the rest of them hoes.
I know I don't want that damn Kelly back. That racist bitch.
I haven't watched OC. I get caught up on Love and Marriage Huntsville, Real Housewives of OC. Is either OC or I think New York is one of the next ones I'm going to have to binge watch.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, OC just needs a complete overhaul. Someone who doesn't have ties to Judge Tamra, because Tamra wants to be on that show so bad. She wants to be back on that show again. Her, Vicky, Nene, Teresa. It's something that they get with this OG head. I'm the OG. You can't talk to me that way. You can't do this to me. Or you're only doing this to me because I am the OG. I get so sick and tired of that crap.
But it's also because they built
the same job. And
but
this is entertainment. The same job in entertainment for 40 years.
I mean, the reason they do this is because they've helped to rally the girls behind them. So because they have the majority, that's why they act that way, because nobody is theoretically going to come at me. The only thing is Nene was on the outs, and I don't know how they let Nene back in that one season. I'm just like, oh, okay.
We're going to bring up Lanithia Monique Lee.
Listen, they go Jonathan. Jonathan ain't said nothing. Ain't nobody even know Jonathan was in the room.
Whatever we feel like.
Ain't nobody even know Jonathan was in the room. The minute you say Nene, it's like Beetlejuice. He just fall out the ceiling. Anyway, y'all, we get ready to get over here. But thank y'all. I appreciate it. We're going to be here every Thursday night to recap the Real Housewives of New Jersey. We sort of did an overlap this week because of Salt Lake City, because we all watch Salt Lake City as well. But they are here to help me. This is your what do they call it? The idiot's guide to the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Okay, I'm the idiot. They are helping me. They are saving me from having to binge watch it. So, little baby, do me a favor. In the private chat, type your email in the private chat, because I thought I had it, but for whatever reason I don't. Or at least I can't find it. So put your email in the private chat, so I'll have it for next week, so I can send you the link. And again, Yocrates, y'all make sure that y'all are subscribed to Yocrates over on his channel. Like you said, he the hardest working man down to the YouTube, because he be over here on my panel. He be over Scotty's panel. He does his own lives. You know, he doing the damn thing. He doing the damn thing. Okay. Thank you to my mods who have been dropping my Avon link again. Y'all go ahead. If y'all want to order some Avon, please go ahead and get your orders in. I appreciate you all who have ordered. I got a couple more. Well, not a couple more. I got another screenshot. So thank you. I'll be posting that screenshot of somebody who another satisfied customer. Well, thank you, Bilo. Thank you so much. Any final words before we get ready to get over here?
I just want to say, for all of those who are not used to this wintry weather, if you guys are getting it, just to reinforce, in your cars, kitty litter. If y'all can get salt, you want salt too, but kitty litter in the event you get stuck, whenever y'all go out, make sure y'all have a blanket, make sure y'all have a flashlight and some non-perishables. And when you go out, have some type of liquid. And if you have a thermos, preferably something hot. In the event something goes wrong, we don't want nobody getting stuck out there, and we damn sure don't want nobody, freezing to death. So just take it from somebody that, have endured the cold of Chicago, Korea, and Germany. I'm just trying to, let you know what I know. And also, if you are not driving, at least start your car up at least once a week and run it for maybe like 5 minutes, just to make sure nothing crazy happen with you.
Yeah. And I definitely want to send prayers out. Positive thoughts to everybody out in Texas. Thank God I reached out to my niece-in-law, I guess, my nephew's wife. He's stationed in Afghanistan right now, and she's in Texas with her family. They were living in California, but she's in Texas now while he's in Afghanistan. And so I checked on them, and thank God they are good. They have, heat and water and food and all of that good stuff. But she said like 2 blocks down the street, they don't. So they just were lucked up, and it was just, thank God they were on the right grid. Prayers to everybody. I think they said that 2 million people, they were able to restore power to 2 million people throughout the state of Texas. However, with the storms going across the country, there are millions and millions of other people in other states who also are not ready for this weather, who are out of power. So right now, it's really not a lot we can do from where we are, because you send them money, there's no way to go buy anything. The grocery stores are empty, they said, so, I'm not saying don't send money to people you might know there, but what I'm saying is sending them food. You can't send them no deliveries. It's not being delivered. You can't send them any food. It ain't gonna be delivered. You know, if you can send people who you know down there money, so when they can get to something, they'll have it if they need it. But definitely just keep them in their prayers. I know FEMA is there. FEMA's paying for hotel rooms. They're sending generators, they're sending water, and they're sending diesel oil for people who do have generators that they can run them. I talked to Cats Meow, who's a content creator over here on YouTube. He's a part of the Justice League. He's in Texas. He was without power until yesterday. Luckily, his family was able to get to a hotel, and he said that they're not gouging, so the hotel prices aren't ridiculous. So if you can get in a hotel, FEMA, if you go to the Cats Meow's community wall or his Instagram, he has posted a lot of that information about FEMA. You can apply to get rent reimbursement. Like, they have a lot of services now. FEMA's sort of really there in full gear. So you guys, please look to those resources. Make sure when you do have power, charge everything up. They have these rolling blackouts. So when the power comes on, charge up everything. And just try to use it sparingly. And don't forget, you guys are on a boil warning. Boil everything. Do not drink the water without boiling it first. And they're also asking to not use water unless you absolutely have to.
And one last thing for those who, if the storm is getting ready to come your way, if you can, get you some canned goods and buy you a small little propane and just use and get a couple of small little propane. So if you have to warm up some food, because when it's cold, you want to try to put something warm inside your body if you can. Yeah. So that is definitely something to do if people aren't already doing that. Don't ask me how I know these things. I just know these things. All right.
Yeah. Cats Meow said that his apartment got down to 16 degrees, he said. And he was under like 3 blankets. And he was like, it was just really, really bad. He said, I mean, he thought twice about even getting up to go to the bathroom. Okay. Like, it was that bad. So I'm glad to hear that him and his family were able to get into a hotel. I think he said his power is back on now, but he's really going to wait because, again, he doesn't want it to go back out. And then he right back where he started. So he's just going to hang out at the hotel for a couple of days, I think. So anyway, definitely sending prayers to all of you guys. And if there is anything that we're not aware of, please email me and I can share it. If you guys hear about resources, websites, pantries, all kinds of stuff, let me know. I know that the Mattress Man opened up his store so people could sleep in his store. They said that Joel Osteen has opened up his church. So just let me know, you guys. Shut up, y'all. Shut up. Shut up. Yeah, we'll talk about Ted Cruz tomorrow, child. We're gonna talk about Ted Cruz tomorrow. Beautiful Soul did a great live today, and Jada Nerd did a live today as well on Ted Cruz and the shenanigans. But we'll talk about that tomorrow, child. I don't want to cross over this episode. We had a good time over here. I don't even want to cross it over. But we'll talk about it tomorrow. Tora said it really sucks there. Y'all, you have my deepest, definitely my prayers. My prayers. Rosa, they're terrible in Austin. Wow. And thank you again, everybody. You guys helped me get to my 5,000. I've been trying. Y'all know I've been hovering for like 4 months at less than 100. Like, I needed less than 100 for like the last 4 months. I was trying to get there by the end of the year. I ain't quite make it to January, but I'm here. It's the middle of February, and I'm here, so that's fine. And so we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. Thank y'all so much. And
Cameron Knight, thank you for that because I couldn't say no. Cameron, thank you. I appreciate that.
Good night. And on that note, good night. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you, Philly boy. Thank you again.